January 8th, 2026. Guys, most of you watched the live streams we had today, and the last one just a few moments ago was about the 3-year extension on the Obamacare subsidies. It was 230 to 196 Democrats, joined by 17 Republicans that are coming up for midterm elections, said they wanted to extend it. Now, we know it's the biggest grift ever by the Democrats. The insurance companies got filthy rich, and they fed it all back to the Democrats that vote this stuff in. And it was 230 to 196. We have the list of the 17 defiant Republicans that joined the Democrats and voted in favor of the 3-year extension. Now, there's kind of a chess game here, because this is bad news, but it's good news because Trump he came in since we watched that and said it won't clear his desk at all. And more than likely, it's a dead on arrival when it goes for the next vote. It said 17 defiant Republicans joined the Democrats and voted in favor. Let's take a look at that list, guys. If they're in your state, you know that they're compromised and that they've been had their hands in the pockets of the insurance company and the lobbying and all of that to get this type of situation started. Brian Fitzpatrick, Republican from Pennsylvania. All of these are Republicans, guys. Mike Lawyer from New York. Rob Bernahan from Pennsylvania. Ryan McKenzie from Pennsylvania. Mike Carey from Ohio, Monica Dela Cruz from Texas, Andrew Garbarino from New York, Will Hurd from Colorado, Dave Joyce from Ohio, Tom Keene Jr., Republican, New Jersey, Nick Lalato from New York, Max Miller from Ohio, Zach Nunn from Iowa, Maria Salazar from Florida, Dave Valadez from California, Derek Van Orden from Wisconsin, and Rob Whitman from Virginia. They voted with the Democrats to keep the slaughter of the American health care system on the table. The insurance companies, guys, had 1,000% profit. You know, that's unheard of. And all of it, not all of it, they were getting filthy rich, but a lot of it was keeping the Democrats in power. It was one of their big grift deals, and helped them get reelected. So this list, guys, you know who they are if you're in these states. Remember that in midterm. And even if you've never voted, please consider doing that, because we are fighting a battle that we need to attack from every angle. Now, from a day or so ago, Thune, who's a Republican, was saying he was kind of in favor for this 3-year extension. He must have really got the hide tore off his butt, because it's saying now he has signaled he won't even bring the bill to the floor for a vote. Again, leaving the House, it was House resolution going to the Senate, and they're saying it's dead on arrival. Trump has also said he wouldn't sign it. So the Democrats had all of that partying going on and clapping and all, knowing that it was already dead. But what they're trying to do is make the Republicans look bad before the midterms. And they did. They made 17 of these traitors look bad. Now, one thing about it, like I said, it was a chess game. Max Miller and all this bunch, Ohio, Zach Nunn, all of them, knew that it would not pass the Senate. So they could keep their hands in the grifting pockets of the insurance companies by saying, oh, we voted for it, knowing that it would not pass, instead of being honest and just shutting it down, giving no victory to the Democrats at all. So it's good news. Just that's a heads up on that. One other thing, and then I want to look at what we're dealing with our weather, guys. It's going to get rough the next day or two. The other good news, again, I mentioned it in the comments in the video just a few moments ago, that Tim Walz and Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison have been criminally referred to the DOJ for investigation and prosecution over the Somali fraud scandal. Ms. Paulina said she was going to do that, and she did it, and she has the receipts to where the DOJ has received these referrals. So Tim, you know, he's kind of like in his last stand. Keith Ellison, both of you guys need to be in Gitmo, to be honest with you. Just saying what you've done to the hardworking taxpayers here, that's good news. Now, again, most of the votes that they're talking about coming out of the House, guys, will not make it through the Senate or through the president's desk. So it's just amazing that Jeffries and that bunch were doing so much celebration, and they did a little interview after the vote bragging about how successful it was, when it was really just a play of hands. It had no teeth. Because, like I said, Thune and them said he's not even going to bring it up. Now, that's really amazing to me that he did that. It was quite a turnaround, but I'm glad he did. Now, let's take a look at something else. Now, it's getting dark here now, and just before it was completely dark, I was outside, and the clouds were rolling in from the west big time, guys. And talked to friends today in the chat from New Mexico, and snow's on the ground. You have in the pink and the purple, guys, you've got from winter storm warnings to storm warnings and to winter weather advisories all through the Four Corners. And what's happening, there's a low pressure spinning counterclockwise in this area. We're going to look at it live, and what it's doing, guys, is moving to the east, but it's got one tail down in the Gulf, and it's starting to pull a lot of moisture in. And what you see here in the green, these are flash flood watches and warnings. This is for Louisiana, our area, much of northern Alabama, central Tennessee through here. And now I haven't looked at each of the areas where the rain or flood warnings are. But here, coming out of Jackson, Mississippi, the National Weather Center there is saying we could get, starting sometimes after midnight, between then and tomorrow night, up to 6 inches of rain, guys. And we're up pretty high. We're not going to be flooded out. We'll see a lot of washout probably, but there's a lot of folks that are low-lying areas. And 6 inches in just that short a period of time can be pretty rough. Now, what's amazing, again, guys, the southern Arizona has freeze warnings. Check this out. And what's happening in the Gulf, again, we're going to look at the satellite images, but remember, we didn't have hardly any tropical storms there at all this year. And my point then was that that's going to be a critical factor during the winter because we didn't get the cooling effect. So right now, this low pressure system that's spinning up here, we're going to look at it, is pulling a lot of moisture into the system. And I almost am 100% sure that it's because we did not get the cooling effects that we normally get. And that's another reason that it's been extremely warm here. We've had maybe less than 7 or 8 days of very cold weather so far all winter. And it's been, again, a couple cold ones, some pipes freezing, things like that, but not like we normally have. And again, I think it's because of the Gulf of America and its heat factor, dealing with pushing moisture up and warm air. And this is what we have for you guys in the Four Corners area. Here's Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, here in Utah. No, you've got snow on the ground already. You can see from the satellite images. But notice this cloud section right in here and right behind it. That's going to bring additional snow to your areas, especially in the higher elevations tonight. Now, this system right here is really winding up. There's a lot of moisture involved, and it's starting, if you notice here in the bottom, the central part, the moisture being pulled into the system. The Gulf of America just never got cool enough this year. That's the problem with the Earth tilting. Last year we talked about it, or the year before, that it was had the intertropical convergence zone had drifted 150 miles north. And I went back and looked at it over 10 years, and it's been about 360 miles north. But that was just in that 1 year, and that was from news feeds and weather information coming out of Europe. But again, here's what we got, and they're talking about, it doesn't look that bad now, but up to 6 inches. And what's going to happen is this system here pulls in and builds up energy. You can see it starting to take effect down in here. This moisture from the Gulf itself will combine with this. And so the danger for the southeast is going to be flooding, heavy rain. Now, tomorrow is Friday. If you don't have to go somewhere here in the southeast, don't go get on the roads and travel. That's a lot of water. Let's look at the infrared. And this gives you an idea at the top of the system. All of you guys up along the Great Lakes area, if the temperatures are cold enough, this is going to be snow, if not rain and sleet, things like that. You're more than likely will get some lake effect snow from it. But this does not appear that heavy now. But look how it's starting to build here. And the closer this tail gets to the east coast, the more it's going to pull from here out of the Gulf itself. Now, this is what they call the simple water vapor loop. And you can see it starting to compile or compress and move more moisture right into the stream that's going to be coming through Texas, out of Mexico, catching Arkansas, Louisiana, and us in Mississippi, talking about central Tennessee and northern Alabama so far. But look for those flood warnings, guys, in the next day to extend into the Carolinas, into Georgia, into possibly Florida, because this system is still going to be cranked up anti-clockwise and pulling everything towards it. That's why you're starting to see the winds. And I noticed the winds picking up here this afternoon, again, just before dark, when we were making sure everything was kind of battened down. But I wanted to let you know that. Let's look at just a little bit of information from the National Weather Service. And also, we've talked about this heavy fog, especially in the southeast for the last, maybe 2 weeks or so, guys. But I think it's from the same reason. The Gulf of America never got cooled down, no tropical weather in there, and that's why we're seeing that warmer air pushing up. Everything has an effect. Now, this is coming out of Jackson, Mississippi today at January 8th at 2:04 p.m. Central Time. It mentions most of the state. Our areas here, Jackson, Mississippi, Bay Springs, Wesson, guys, Heidelberg, Monticello, Crystal Springs, all those areas, we're in a flood watch, and it remains in effect from Friday morning through Friday evening. What to expect? The impacts are excessive runoff may result in flooding of rivers, creeks, streams, and other low-lying and flood-prone locations. Flooding may occur in poor drainage in urban areas. Storm drains and ditches may become clogged with debris. Additional details: 2 to 3 inches of rain could fall within a short period of time. Total of 3 to 6 inches are possible. You should monitor later forecasts and be prepared to take action should flash flooding warnings be issued. And it's almost like we're starting to, because of the weather, that we're starting to get into a spring pattern almost, guys. We'll see how it works out. I'm sure we're going to have more cold weather coming, but we may even get to plant a garden early this year. You never know. But right now, you see we got wind warnings, weather watches through the Rocky Mountains and through the desert Southwest. You got the storm moving through the central area, moving into the Great Lakes, and we are in some flood watches. Again, Florida, just because all of that area is not in the flood warnings now, watch for that to change. We're going to see how much moisture is picked up by this system as we go through the overnight and into tomorrow, because that will be the weather moving east from here. But we're watching it, guys. You watch it. Make sure you stay safe. If you don't have to travel tomorrow, don't do it. Tina put off a doctor visit until Monday because of it. And the doctor said that everybody was doing it. So take heed and be careful. There's no use in getting in a situation where you're going to slide into a bridge or in incoming traffic or drown in a creek. Just, it's not worth it. We're watching it. You watch it. It's a heads up. Be safe.